Namaste friends, welcome back to our channel. Today's video is going to be a continuation of one of the videos that we had previously posted on this channel. We had posted a video titled The Anxious Mind, and if you still haven't seen that video, I would request you to please go and watch that video before you continue watching this video. One of the commonest causes that we see in anxiety disorders is that there is a lot of intolerance of uncertainty. So let me just explain to you a little bit what is intolerance of uncertainty. Intolerance of uncertainty means that whenever we face a situation where the outcome is kind of uncertain, our mind starts becoming very anxious, it starts generating panic, it starts generating worry. Now, the funny thing is, we all kind of know that uncertainty is the only certain thing in our life. So, let me just repeat, the only certain thing in our life is the uncertainty of our life. But our mind doesn't really like this uncertainty and can create a lot of anxiety, stress, and panic. Now, whenever we are faced with this kind of uncertainty provoking anxious moments in life, our minds sometimes tend to select avoidance as a method to get rid of these feelings of anxiety. For example, if you have fear of public speaking and you have an opportunity to give a speech, one choice that your mind might come up with is to avoid it, come up with some excuse by which you will say, oh, I won't be able to give this speech. What happens is, in the short term, you will feel better that you have avoided this anxiety provoking situation. And in the long term, it will make the problem more stronger. So the chances of you giving a public speech goes on diminishing with every avoidance that we do. And this is true for many of the things that we avoid because of certain emotional content, or because certain things produce a certain emotional response, and then we go on avoiding them, and it just goes on making those things stronger and stronger. So if avoidance is not going to help with this problem in the long run, what can be a long term solution? In the type of psychotherapy model that I have learned and that I use in my practice, which is called as the acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, which is one of the most evidence based model in the world currently, we try to teach people a different way of responding to this kind of troubling emotions. So, like I said, avoidance is one of the options that can be there, but it doesn't provide a long term solution. The other option can be acceptance. Okay, let me talk a little bit about acceptance. See, I told you that one of the causes of anxiety is intolerance of uncertainty. And we have already discussed that certainty, the only certain thing in life is uncertainty. So maybe the mind will come up with, okay, so I need to learn to become more tolerant of this uncertainty, and that would take care of the problem. So let me ask you this. You have a good friend, and would you like this friend to be tolerant of you, or would you like this friend to accept you as you are? Which out of this is a more fruitful friendship? Obviously, the answer is when your friends are accepting of you. So, similarly, if we can learn to be more accepting of these emotions and use the energy that is produced by these emotions, harness this energy produced by these emotions to take us in a direction or to do something that really matters to us or which is value guided. So, friends, let me just talk to you a little bit about values. See, values are our deep ingrained desires, or these are things that really matter to us in life. This is what really makes us tick. And in acceptance and commitment therapy, we do give a lot of importance to the core values a person has. And we use various different methods that we use to discover what really matters to a person so that we can use it as a guide for them to live their life. I will give you one example how we can do this. This is one of the techniques we do use in therapy. Imagine one fine day you wake up with this amazing ability to read other people's minds, right? And now imagine one important person from various domains of your life. Domain of your life means various aspects of your life. Like it can be your personal life, it can be professional life, or it can, if health and well-being is something that is important to you, it can be somebody from that domain. So let's imagine it's a gym instructor and you have chosen health and well-being, and your gym instructor is this representative person that you have chosen. So now imagine you go and stand in front of this gym instructor. Now normally whenever we meet somebody, immediately we start having some thoughts about this person. So now you are standing in front of this gym instructor, and now you have this ability to read their mind. What kind of thoughts would you like this person to have about you? So if you would like to have, if you would like this person to have thoughts like, oh, this person is very concerned about their well-being, they put in a lot of effort, they have a good diet, they exercise regularly. So that would mean that all these things are important to you and they are your values in life. And this you can use for various domains of your life. And this is what we call it as values discovery. So whenever faced with uncertainty, we have now two options. We have the option of avoiding this situation and staying in that same loop of that emotion, or we can let our values guide us and maybe take us in a different direction. Again, I'm going to use a very common metaphor that we use in acceptance and commitment therapy, and this is called as the bus driver metaphor. So imagine that you're a driver of the bus, and let's say the journey that this bus takes is the journey of your life. So you start this journey with the bus, and along the way you pick up some very nice, gentle passengers, and you pick up some very loud and noisy and maybe drunk passengers. And we can think about this as our emotions. The drunk passengers, the rough passengers are the kind of emotions that we normally don't like fear and anger and jealousy. And the nice passengers can be like the emotions that we normally like quite a lot, like love and happiness, this kind of emotion. So now you're driving the bus of your life, and this drunk people in the back of the bus, they start creating a lot of noise, and then you feel very disturbed. So what do? You take the bus to the side, you stop the bus, you turn back towards these passengers and you tell them, until and unless you shut up or keep quiet, the bus is not going anywhere. Now my question to you is, who is in control? Is the driver in the control, or are these passengers who are making some noise in control? Is it not what many of us do when we face challenges in life, or when we are in face of some emotions that we don't like? We almost like take our life bus to the side, we keep our life on hold, and we wait for these emotions to go away or to disappear. For example, many times we say this, oh, only if I did not have this anxiety, I would have done that. Or if this particular emotion was not a problem, my life would be that way. So it's like this bus driver who takes the bus to the side and waits for these passengers to quieten down. The other option is that you continue to drive the bus. These passengers will continue to do the things that they would do, and you take the bus in the direction that you want to take. So that is a value guided journey. So continuing with this metaphor of the bus driver, if you go on taking the same route every day, obviously you will reach at the same destination. This is one of the funny things in life. We all want outcome to be different, but we don't want to change anything that we do, right? So every time you are going to take a diversion which is more a value based decision and where the outcome is going to be uncertain, all these passengers will, especially these passengers who are drunk and who are not so nice, they will start creating a lot of noise. And again, the choice is yours whether to let them control the journey or whether you control the journey. Okay, so I'm going to end this video with a couple of things. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give you kind of an mathematical equation about suffering. Now, all of us know that pain is a big part of life. Just like uncertainty, pain is also a part of our life. Pain is mandatory. When we add non acceptance to this pain, it converts into suffering. So, the formula that I would like to give you is pain plus non acceptance of this pain is equal to suffering. And the last thing that I would like to share with you is a very beautiful prayer. It's called as the Serenity Prayer. This prayer is used in many different scenarios by many different organizations. Even the Alcoholic Anonymous does use this prayer. So, what does this prayer say? It says, may I have the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom or intelligence to know the difference. So, what it means is instead of focusing on trying to change the things which are not in your control, can we learn to accept them and let our values guide us to change the things that are in our control? So, with this beautiful prayer, I wish you a nice week ahead, and we will be back next week with a new video. Till then, thank you and namaste.